Welcome, Business 101 students, summer session 2022 here at EC3PA. All right, so first, a few housekeeping things. We finished up week one. Your first assignments were due a discussion post that introduced yourself to the class and to me, and then also a company that you are the company of your choice, a publicly traded company, right? New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ, any of those are included. So I think I got most of those discussions in. We may be missing one or two. You need to get that in as soon as possible to get some points on the board for discussion. Next is homework, chapters 1 and 2. The first homework was due last night, 11:59 p.m. on Monday night. And I have a few people that have not turned in their homework yet, so please get that to me as soon as possible. Email that to me directly. crobertson@ec3pa.org, and you can get some points on the board. I did post grades so far, so if you did your discussion and it was on time, and you turned in your homework and it was on time, you should have points in there saying as such. Now, this week, due next Monday by 11:59, we have a couple things. So first, chapters 3 and 4. Chapter 3, from the text, you're going to want to read chapter 3, view the PowerPoint for chapter 3, and then do the homework assignment for chapter 3. And I do have them in two separate homework assignments. If you want to combine them in one Word doc, you want to send them to me in two attachments, however you want to do it, that's fine. And so the first, chapter 3, the world marketplace, business without borders. And so we're looking at international trade, some free trade things that are happening, barriers to trade. Again, this text is a little bit older, so it talks about a lot of the history behind trade. Free trade. We have seen some changes relative to changing administrations as to what type of trade deals we have with different countries, right? So under the Trump administration, we saw some different trade arrangements and tariffs and things happen with some Eastern Bloc countries, and with Mexico, once one of our free trade folks in NAFTA. Now we've seen some changes. So depending on what's happening at the federal, state, and local level, regulatory-wise, that's how we see business environments change. So federal would be typically what we would see when we're talking about international trade and global relations. Now, chapter 4, business ethics and social responsibility, doing well by doing good. This is our chapter on ethics, right? Ethics and social responsibility. And defining social responsibility, monitoring ethics, right? There have been, you'll read about a few things in chapter 4 where it can be tricky, right? The question is, if we are trying to win the race of whatever industry we're in, and we're in that business and we're trying to do things as efficiently and effectively as possible, how then at the same time can we always be ethical, right? So those are some of the dilemmas that businesses face to make sure they're not cutting corners. There is a nice chart in that chapter that talks about things that are ethical, but maybe ethical and legal, ethical and illegal, unethical and legal, and unethical and illegal. You'll get to that in chapter 4. There also is a video posted. So I have a YouTube video. It's about 15 minutes long. It's a little bit longer, but it's a wonderful TED Talk. And it talks a lot about, is it possible to have ethics in business, right? So make sure that you watch that video. It goes with chapter 4. If you have an issue finding that link, let me know. I will include that link in the email to you. So you should see that when you're looking at this video. There should also be a link to the YouTube video relating to chapter 4. Now, I said I'd introduce the project this week. So the project the purpose of the project is for you to try out business knowledge by assessing a currently functioning publicly traded company of your choosing. So I gave you some examples, right? And right now you really just chose the company, but start thinking about, as we read through the chapters, things that might relate to your company. And so I'm looking for at least 2 references, if not more. So you're going to need to at least go to the company, and I will talk a little bit more about the company websites probably next week. But start thinking about your company and thinking about things from bona fide sources that relate to your company, right? So you're going to give me a little, that you could have up to 5 sections in your paper, but it will only be 2 to 3 pages. And you also have a second component that's a 3 to 5 slide PowerPoint. I'll talk a little bit more about that as we move through the course. Now, if you need help with any of these items, you can ask me, but you can also ask our librarian, Mary Howells. She's wonderful. She has helped students in the past of mine either use PowerPoint if they have not before, help them get some slides together relating to their paper topic. All right, so the 5 sections: the business environment, why did you choose your business, and then also start to talk a little bit about how are they handling ethical and social responsibilities? How are they working in the global marketplace, right? Very apropos to these 2 chapters we're working on this week. So thinking about those items, you can find those typically on their web page or from bona fide news sources. What type of business did you choose? So you're going to just talk about how the business got started, right? So when you talk about the business that you chose, how did it get started? So you can talk about if it was, for example, Sam Walton wanted a better discount 5 and dime store, and so he decided to use some of the models that were out there and start his own. That's how Walmart got started. So you may say, talk about what was the reason behind it, who was the entrepreneur that started the business. If you can find, third section, anything about how the company is doing financially, is their stock volatile? How are they stacking up against industry competitors? Are they in an emerging industry? Any information that you think would be useful if you were talking to someone that never heard of the company you were that you're researching or talking to us about, and so you have to fill them in, right? And we haven't gotten to the 4 Ps yet, but what's their current marketing mix, right? Product placement, price, and promotion. And what type of employees, if you can find this one, does the business hire? And are there any special leadership styles that are expressed from your company, right? So this is posted, term project, it is posted in your Blackboard, the term project, and all of the items that go along with it. So this week you're going to want to do your reading, like chapter 3. You're going to want to then look at the chapter 3 PowerPoint and then answer the homework questions for chapter 3. Then move to chapter 4, has its own section. Remember, the little arrow on the right is what gives you a drop down. There's a video that you should watch initially, a YouTube video. I will put that link here in the email. And then you are going to read chapter 4. You can read first and then watch the video, look at the PowerPoint, and then do the chapter 4 homework. And I don't believe that I have a discussion due this week. Let me just double check. So this week, no discussion is due for this week. So there are only 4 total discussions, and one of which will be your PowerPoint. So if you wanted to chime in on anyone else's discussion, feel free to do so. The discussions look great, and you will get 100% for that discussion portion of your grade if you turn in and give me a couple sentences each discussion. Let's see, June 8th is the last day to drop for 50% refund. If you need to drop for some reason, please reach out to me. I know I had a few students drop, and one of the last days that you can withdraw is June 28th. Now we have 7 total homework assignments. We've already completed 1 that was due yesterday. So, questions for me, please feel free to reach out to me either via phone, 814-490-6473. I would say text me only, or my email, crobertson@ec3pa.org. Have a wonderful afternoon. It is Tuesday, June 7th, and we are working on chapters 3 to 4.